Hey, I forgot to include this originally, but warning for a lot of talk about fleas and creepy 3D animated clowns. So, if you don't really like that, I wouldn't recommend watching this. That's it though. Bye. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Neo Clock Talks, the series where I talk your ears off about my OCs based on stuff from the neo-futurists. This episode is about quite possibly the strangest of them all, Bongo. Bongo was the second Neo Clock I created, coming soon after Cosmo, and is based on the short film Bingo, which is sometimes referred to as Bingo the Clowno. Bingo was directed by Chris Landreth and was directly based on a play titled Disregard This Play, written by Greg Codis. Apologies if I mispronounced any of that, by the way. To summarize the short film, it's about a man surrounded by weird characters who keep telling him that he is someone named Bingo the Clown. Bingo the Clowno. After enough psychological torment, the man begins to actually believe he is Bingo. If you want to watch the short film in full, here it is on YouTube. According to Chris Landreth's website, Bingo was also made in an attempt to get rid of his lifelong fear of clowns, and it didn't work. And I'm not surprised it didn't work, because look at some of these characters, oh my god! Okay, I know this is supposed to be about my OC, but I just want to talk about my personal experience with the short film real quick because I find it funny. So, if you watched the introductory video to Neo Clock Talks, you probably remember me saying that I watched a few videos when me and my friend looked up the Neo-Futurists for the first time. Bingo was actually one of them. Honestly, I don't even know why we watched it, because the channel that uploaded the video was not the Neo-Futurist channel, and we didn't even know that Bingo was associated with the Neo-Futurist. It just showed up in the search. Okay, but imagine watching Bingo for the first time with absolutely no context. Now imagine watching it in the worst video and audio quality possible, to the point the film is almost incomprehensible. Yeah, I bet you can imagine how confused I was. It was a fun watch though. Also, just to add this for fun, I actually mentioned Bingo to one of my friends once, and they recognized it, as they actually watched it years ago. Their favorite character is the money guy, by the way. My favorite is the Harlequin. I like the design. Okay, now we can talk about Bongo. Beginning with the design. Bongo's general design is meant to be overwhelming and confusing, with lots of details and colors, similar to the visuals of Bingo. I actually rewatched and paused on parts of the short film multiple times to reference things when making the design, most notably the fleas that appear throughout the short. Bongo has a clock for a head and the body of a human-sized flea. This actually makes Bongo currently the only Neo Clock with organic body parts. And because Bongo has the body of a flea, they can easily jump pretty high. Bongo's chest, stomach, whatever, is carved out to make way for a pendulum. There's also a green ooze kept inside by the thin, translucent skin covering the carved area. They can actually spit this green substance, and it's acidic. It's inspired by this scene in Bingo. Bongo's party hat is also inspired by this beginning live footage of Disregard This Play being performed before the actual animation starts. And of course, Bongo's face resembles clown makeup, and they wear a clown outfit. Going into further detail, when drawing Bongo, quick spoiler warning for Psychonauts 2, I also used the fleas from the Flea Circus as reference for drawing the body, as well as my own art, specifically my interpretation of the Lyswatter host from Jackbox Games. Bongo's eyes are also a bit inspired by the game, apologies if I mispronounce this, Roly Poly's no Nana Kurobi Yauki. Here's some pictures of it so you can see the strange visuals here. It was made by the same guy, Osamu Sato, who made LSD Dream Emulator, which I remember being popular a few years ago, so there's a fact. Bongo's clown outfit is visibly dirty. I made it like that so it can match the same gross, icky visual seen in Bingo. The sleeves and pants are also ripped, likely caused by either Bongo's reckless behavior, or the outfit not being designed for a huge flea. On to personality, Bongo is probably the most chaotic and hyper out of all the Neo Clocks. They have a lot of energy, and it takes quite a while for them to get tired. They also usually talk pretty fast, and their own thoughts often get derailed, so it's hard for some to understand whatever Bongo is talking about. Although Bongo could easily be perceived as annoying because of their behavior, it doesn't mean that some Neo Clocks don't try to understand and get along with them. As for relationships with other Neo Clocks, one of Bongo's closest friends is Cosmo, who, completely unlike Bongo, is a very calm and slightly quiet person. Cosmo's presence is actually able to calm Bongo's hyperactivity by a small amount. Bongo enjoys talking about whatever's on their mind to Cosmo, who will listen. Bongo is also close friends with Febs, who is an also energetic, strange-looking Neo-Clock. Both love playing around and embracing how weird they both are. Bongo and Feb's more animalistic features become very apparent when they're showing off to each other the weird things they can do. Now for some extra little things that I couldn't exactly fit into me telling you about Bongo's inspiration, design, and personality. Bongo's original art was completed on October 1st, 2024. Here's some art I drew of them for their first birthday as an existing character. And here's Bongo's photo booth picture along with the color version. I draw these for every Neo clock I make, as a fun reference to the actual photos that Neo features used for various things such as promotional posts like this. Originally, Bongo was supposed to have a habit of calling others clown names and nothing else. It was meant to reference Bingo and the play it's based on for how the main character constantly gets called Bingo the Clown despite him saying that's not his name. However, I don't exactly consider that fact I wrote about Bongo to be a thing anymore, simply because I couldn't come up with any good clown names for the other Neo clocks. And I even kept forgetting I even wrote that into Bongo's lore. Speaking of names, Bongo's name was actually just something I kept calling them while creating them, believing I would come up with a better name later. Well, I didn't, and I kept calling them Bongo, so it ended up sticking. Bongo's eyes are actually capable of frog blinking. Sometimes Bongo will actually frog blink themselves. Also, Bongo usually stands with raptor arms. It's very unlikely that you'll see Bongo with their arms fully down. I personally feel that Bongo is possibly one of my weirdest character designs ever, and I'm very happy with that and the fact that Something as Strange is an uncanny, early CGI short film inspired me to create them. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Neo Clock Talks. See you next time.